Hi. All right. Good morning, everybody. So, we have our 30-minute power class today. So, let's just dive right into our practice. We're going to start upright seats. So, coming to a comfortable upright seat and just anchoring in. So, your practice or stepping onto your mat should become or should feel like a ritual. You step onto your mat, you kind of put aside whatever is going on in your day for the next 30, 45, 60 minutes, and you just feel into your body. So, as you are arriving at your practice, just start to notice where you're breathing, how you're breathing. Is it fast? Is it slow? Are you breathing into the belly? And you can just take a moment to check in with yourself mentally and emotionally and even energetically. Are you feeling really creative this morning? Are you a little bit groggy? Did you have too much sodium yesterday and you're just feeling a little puffy in your body? Just acknowledge wherever you are. And then maybe let's take 3 conscious inhales and exhales, just anchoring us into the practice and using this as an opportunity to kind of set a tone for your day, whether it's an intention or an affirmation. I'm having internet troubles. Let's see if I can pull this a little bit closer. All right. And on your next conscious inhale, you're going to draw both arms up overhead. Relax your shoulders. And then just pause here for a moment and see if you can notice the breath now. Are you still able to breathe into your belly with your arms raised, or are you breathing more into the chest region? So if you're breathing into the chest, just consciously try and breathe deeper into the belly. When we're breathing into the rib cage or into the chest, this can cause some anxiety. So just trying to breathe behind the navel. One more big inhale here. And the next exhale, you're going to drop your right hand to your left knee and the left hand behind you for a twist. This is our first twist, our first starting our practice. It's not going to be very deep. Again, notice where you're breathing here. You should still be breathing behind the navel. If you're breathing into the chest, really just consciously try and push the breath down to the bottom of the lungs. I know you don't have lungs in your belly, but you can breathe down there. Inhale, we come center, and then exhale, we're going to take that twist on the second side. So just giving a little bit of gentle pressure to those detox organs, helping with digestion and assimilation this morning. Inhale, we come center. Exhale, uncross and then recross your legs the other way. And then take a seated forward fold. So when we have our legs crossed like this and we fold forward, it's going to be a pretty big stretch for the glutes, the outer hip muscles, the lower back. You can walk your arms away and start to feel a lengthening in the spine. Let the head drop heavy and just start to feel the whole torso of the body start to expand. Invite the breath to move through the body. The exhale, you walk your hands back towards your legs and you're coming into a tabletop. So let's take a couple rounds of cat cow. Just start to lubricate through the spine, start to wake up through the shoulders and the hips, and continuing to link breath with movement. And with cat cow, you can stay in one variation of this pose for a couple rounds of breath. You don't have to move the whole time. Tucking the toes, lifting your seat, you're going to make your way into your first downward dog. Keep the knees really, really bent here. Stay high on the balls of your feet. Equal weight between your shoulders, and let the head be heavy here. If your mind is starting to wander, just bring it back to your intention for your day. I am creative. I am patient. Whatever it might be. And then slowly just start to straighten out or pedal out through your feet. So you're not running a sprint here. You can move slowly and start to wake up through the hamstrings, the calves, and making your way into a more still, assertive version of downward dog.
pressing through the heels, even if they're nowhere near the mat, that's okay. The next inhale, you're going to bend the knees, switch the gaze, and then just take a walk to the front of the mat. Exhale and fold, really focusing on the legs today. We're going to take the right foot behind and around the left so that your pinky toes are kind of parallel. Deep bend in the left knee, and exhale, hinge forward. You're going to feel a pretty big stretch in that right hamstring and the right outer hip. You get to decide how intense this stretch is. If you want to go deeper, you're going to walk your hands and your torso over to the left as well, bringing that stretch up through the right side rib cage. Inhale, center, exhale, unwind, and we're going to do that same stretch on the other side. So the left foot comes behind and around the right. You have a deep bend in the right knee. Keep the heel firmly planted on the earth. And then exhale, deepen into this forward fold, which intensifies the stretch in that left hamstring and the left hip. Again, you get to decide how deep or intense this is. Maybe you walk your hands over to the right. Keeping the breath equal and steady. Inhale, center, exhale, unwind. Close the eyes here because we've been upside down for some time. And very slowly, you're going to roll up to a standing position. Continue with stretching the sides of the body. Inhale, draw the arms up. Intertwine the fingers, press the palms towards the sky, root down through the heels, and find a nice long stretch through the whole body. Keep your hip points anchored over your ankles. And as you exhale, you're going to take a lateral stretch to the right. So you're just moving from the torso. Oftentimes we want to wing that hip out. It's not as effective as if we keep it stacked over that ankle. So keep pressing through the palms of the hands, getting a big stretch for the left side. Inhale, center, and exhale, take that lateral stretch to the left. Inhale, center, and exhale, fold. Hinge at the hips here. With an inhale, you're going to find a flat back. And as you exhale, you're going to step back with the left foot. Runner's lunge. So again, we're really focusing on the legs today. So make sure that right knee is stacked over the right ankle. High on the ball, the left foot, lift the hips high. You're starting to engage the core here, so you're not really using your arms to hold you up. And with your next inhale, you're going to straighten that right leg as comfortably as you can. And then exhale, you bend back into the right knee. So 2 more times. Inhale, you straighten. Exhale, you bend. Just starting to warm up through that hamstring. Inhale, you straighten. Exhale, you bend. And on the next inhalation, you're going to rotate your pelvis and come up into a crescent warrior. So you may have to readjust your stance. Reach the arms up overhead. You can even bring the palms together and the thumbs towards your cervical spine here behind the back of the neck, and then open up through the elbows and armpits to give yourself a little bit of a heart opener here. You get to choose if the arms are up or back behind the neck. And 3 more times as you inhale, you're going to straighten that right leg, and exhale, bend into that knee. Inhale, straighten into the leg. Exhale, bend. This time we're going to inhale, straighten, and hold. And as we exhale, we're going to hinge forward. Deepening to that hamstring stretch, the stretch of the lower back and the glutes. Even if you can't reach the mat, that's okay. You can place your hands on your shin or your thigh. If you have yogi blocks, you can use blocks. Exhale, bend back into that right knee. Firmly plant your hands onto the mat, guys. Root down through that right foot. And inhale, lift the left foot. Standing splits. Go ahead and keep your hands nice and firm on the earth, guys. So we're going to be here for about 7 breaths. You can stay here in standing splits, practicing straightening that standing right leg by anchoring your heel into the earth. Or you can do 5 Shiva squats with me, your choice. So if you're going to take the Shiva squat option, you're going to exhale, bring the left knee behind the right knee as you bend the right leg, and then inhale, you straighten everything. So that's a Shiva squat. So either doing 4 more of those or finding stillness. Moving with the breath here, guys. And then coming back to standing splits. You're going to bend back into that right knee as you drop the left foot, and here you are back in that runner's lunge. Take your right foot to meet your left in high plank. And if you choose, you can move through a vinyasa, or you can skip it and join me in downward dog. We're going to take 5 breaths here. This is a very active down dog, guys. So equal weight between your hands. Draw the navel in towards your spine. Press through your heels and feel the whole back body begin to stretch and expand and open. So remember, our back body is our receiving body. This is where we receive information, we receive energy. Take a bend in the knees, switch the gaze, and hop, step, walk, or float to the front of the mat. Exhale and fold. We're going to spend 2 extra breaths here in this forward fold. So anchor down through your heels, tuck in the navel, and hinge deeper. With a soft spine, you're going to slowly roll to standing. And pause for a moment in mountain pose. You guys know mountain pose is this opportunity to just check back in with yourself. Check back in with your breath. Are you breathing into the belly? Maybe you're still breathing into the chest. How does that right leg feel in comparison to the left leg? What is the difference that you're experiencing right now? On the next in-breath, we'll move again. So inhale, draw the arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale to a flat back. And exhale, we step that right foot back. Make sure the left knee is on top of the left ankle, never in front of. This is where injury occurs. So always on top of or behind. And then 3 times with the breath, you're going to inhale and straighten that left leg. So inhale, you straighten, and exhale, you bend. One more time. And with your next inhale, you're going to rotate the pelvis and come up into that crescent warrior. So take a few moments to really get yourself set up here comfortably. Choose your arm variation. Find some stability and balance. So this version of warrior, or we call it crescent lunge or crescent warrior, because we're on the ball of our back foot, we are in a balancing pose, and balancing poses really force us to check in with our ego. So choosing your arm variation, the next 3 breaths, you're going to inhale, straighten that front leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Last time, inhale, you straighten, but this time you're going to exhale and hinge forward, really deepening into that intense forward fold. So big stretch for that hamstring. You may be feeling this on the top of your foot. So just take a couple more breaths. And with your next exhale, you're going to bend back into that left knee. Anchor your hands nice and firm on the earth. And then inhale, bring that right foot up for standing splits. So in standing splits, you want to keep your hip points pointing towards the earth. Oftentimes we want to peel that hip open because we think this is a split. That's not where we're going today. Keep your hips square. Keep the toes of your raised foot pointed to the earth. Anchor down through that standing heel and either stay here in stillness or 5 Shiva squats. Coming back to standing splits, taking a bend in that left knee as you drop the right foot, runner's lunge. And then you're going to step back to plank and then move through your vinyasa or simply come to downward dog for 5 breaths. So as we're building strength in the legs, we're also opening up the energy channels that are connected to our earth chakra. So oftentimes we talk about the 7 major chakras and everyone knows about your root chakra. We actually have another one called our earth chakra, and it's about anywhere from like 6 to maybe 9 inches below your feet. It's actually continuously in the earth. So as we're moving through these more like leg focused practice today, we are really opening up through our earth chakra, which helps us ground into our like day-to-day self. So one more time, you're going to bend the knees, switch the gaze, make your way to the front of the mat. Exhale, you fold, forward fold here. On the inhale, you're going to bend the knees, drop your seat. We're coming into chair pose. We remember chair pose from last week. Really anchor down through your feet, guys. Remember, we're cueing, we're trying to activate that earth chakra. Really anchoring ourselves into our day, into our practice, into the earth energy. Hands come together at the heart. Inhale, lift the sternum. Exhale, left elbow, right knee for a twist. Put your weight into your right foot and step back with your left. Yeah, there you guys go. Let's take a couple breaths here. So remember, being on the ball of that back foot is like an ego checker. So just check in with your ego. Are you wobbly? Are you okay with being wobbly? In this twist, we are kind of wringing out some of those detox organs. And anchoring down through that front foot, we're really anchoring into that earth chakra. So feel the vibration of the earth, feel the energy drawing up through you, moving away any stagnation, any stuck energy. And then with your next inhale, you're going to step that left foot forward, come center, and then exhale to the opposite side. Grounding down through your left foot, you'll step your right foot back. I'm a little wobbly on this side. What about you guys? Do you ever notice that one side feels different than the other? So just anchoring into the sensations on this side. Maybe this is a little bit more stable for you. Maybe you're a little bit more wobbly. There's no judgment. Just check in. Just notice. One more time. You're going to inhale, step forward. Come back to chair pose. Exhale, straighten your legs. Let the head be heavy. Inhale to a flat back. Step back to plank pose. And then together, we're going to move as slowly as we can, as most control as we can, all the way to the mat. Slide the elbows underneath of the shoulders and inhale up into Sphinx pose. So Sphinx pose is just a little back bend. You're pressing your pubic bone into the mat. You're pressing your elbows into the mat, but you are lifting your lower rib cage and your sternum off of the mat. You can stay here for the next 5 breaths, or you can bend the knees to deepen into the compression of the lumbar spine. Back bends are very invigorating. They draw energy up through our spinal column. This is where our Sushumna Nada is. It's like an energy channel. So right up through the spinal column to the crown of the head. It's like a shot of caffeine. Hold one more breath. And then exhale, release. Stack the palms, stack the shoulders. You can kind of bend the knees and sway or seagrass out through the hips. And we're going to come up into one more back bend. So you can do Sphinx again, or I'm going to cue seal pose. So either bringing your elbows back underneath of your shoulders for Sphinx one more time, or turning your palms outward and then sliding them in about a full palm width and starting to lift the elbows off the mat. seal pose. So you're still pressing the pubic bone into the earth. You're still pressing like the tops of your toes into the earth, but it's a little bit more compression for your lumbar spine here. If you're in seal pose, try and relax the shoulders. So oftentimes we're here, and this can be really uncomfortable. Try and find length in the sternum to relax the shoulders. A little bit bigger of a back bend, a little bit more intense here at the sacrum. But if you want to go deeper, you can bend the knees here as well. 4 more breaths in this final back bend. Go ahead, release the feet, and we're actually all going to sit back into a child's pose. Allow this to be a wide-kneed child's pose. So big toes come together, knees are separate, torso has space between the thighs. You can stack your palms, you can rest your forehead. And let's take 5 breaths here as we begin to get into the energy of the hips. So very slowly, you're going to walk your torso back up to an upright position. This next pose can be really uncomfortable, guys, and I'm going to start with that just to give you a heads up. But it's really, really beneficial. So slide the knees back together, bring your hands back to the mat, and then tuck your toes. And then you can just sit back towards your heels. You can leave your hands on the earth if you like. This opens up all of the energy channels at the bottom of our feet. So think of when you go for reflexology and like what they're doing by pressing your big toe, they affect, the energy of your kidneys. That's what we're doing with this pose, but it can be really intense. So if you're okay like this with your hands still on the mat, try and maybe shift your weight and bring your hand to your knee. And if you're like, I can go a little deeper, then try and stack your shoulders over your hips. So your full weight is on your seat, which is on your heels. Your toes are tucked. So we're going to be here for 10 full breaths. For some people, this is no big deal. For others, it's really, really uncomfortable. I am one of those people. But what this teaches us is that we can sit through discomfort. So if you're experiencing pain in this pose, so pain is going to be burning, pinching, tingling is pain, falling asleep. If you're experiencing any of those, or falling asleep in your feet, you're going to want to come out of this. But if you're just like, Alex, this is really uncomfortable and I don't want to be here much longer, you can sit with it. So this is one of like the beautiful things that our yoga practice teaches us, is how to just like sit with discomfort, knowing that it's eventually going to be over. So if anything like me at this point, your feet are probably like really screaming at you. We're going to hold 3 more breaths. Asking yourself, is it discomfort or is it pain? And if it's discomfort, can you sit through it? And then to come out of it, we're going to bring our hands back to the earth. Very slowly untuck your toes, like really slowly here, guys. And then just apply some pressure to the tops of your toes. You can sit back on your heels if you'd like. Let that sensation subside. And then we're going to just have a seat right onto our backs here, coming supine. So what that did is that opened everything up through the body, hugging the knees into the chest, starting to feel the sacrum pressing into the earth, knowing that this is the part of our practice where we start to unwind. And then exhale, take both knees over to the left. Close knees, supine twist. Begin to slow down your breathing here, guys. The exhales eventually become longer than the inhales. Tapping into your parasympathetic nervous system. Allowing you to rest. Inhale, draw the knee center, and then exhale to the other side. Reminding you that by elongating the exhales, you take yourself out of fight or flight and you put yourself in like rest and reset.
Eventually, you're going to draw your knees back in towards your chest, and then exhale, coming into your expression of Shavasana. It's a short Shavasana today, as we have a short practice today. But Shavasana is the most important pose. This is where your body absorbs everything that you've just done. This is where your nervous system has an opportunity to rest. So scanning through the body, acknowledging any areas of tension, and give them permission to release and to relax. Focus on the exhale, allow it to be longer than the inhale, and see if you can feel that subtleness of your nervous system as it shifts into that parasympathetic state, that rest and digest state. You can walk through your day and be assertive and be creative and be efficient and be all of the things that we need to be in our day to get things done and still be in that parasympathetic state. We do not have to be like hyper alert and active on the nervous system level in order to get things done. You can be calm and relaxed and peaceful and still be all of those things. Just a few more moments here, really letting the body anchor into your Shavasana. And if your mind is wandering, bring it back to that intention you're setting for your day. How do you want to feel today? What do you want to accomplish? And slowly beginning to just come back to your body, beginning to invite some movements through the fingers and the toes, moving the muscles of the face. Eventually coming to your side body where you just reconnect with yourself. And then coming back up to a comfortable seat. Allow the eyes to be closed or at a soft gaze. The hands can rest on your knees or at your heart center, wherever you feel comfortable with them. And for just a moment, can you feel that earth chakra, that chakra that is below you, about 6 to 8 inches below you, into the earth? Can you feel it pulsing with that earth energy, grounding you, keeping you in this present moment? And then drawing the hands to heart center to seal our practice. And in honor of all that you are. Namaste.